Salutations from space and aloha from Earth, friends. I'm Gemini Brett here for OPA, the Organization for Professional Astrology. Today is July 20th, 2020. It is Monday, the day of the moon, and moon and sun align in her sign of Cancer for the second time this year. Cancer, new moon number 2, and this one is opposite retrograde Capricorn Saturn. Probably a good time to look at structures and maybe some old rules. And I'm implored to at this time, but the strange thing of the 13th sign meme, which has reared its weird head once again. There's a serpent in the garden. Now, friends, this Cancer new moon is late enough in the tropical sign to actually be described as Cancer in 3 different zodiacs. What? 3 zodiacs? Okay, the tropical zodiac shown here in blue by the glyphs, it's aligned like so many ancient shamanic wisdom traditions to the cardinal directions. It is aligned to Gaia's spine, our rotational axis, which leans in every moment forever north towards 0 degrees, tropical Cancer. It is not about alignments with the stars. Well, no star other than our own. That doesn't in any way, I'm not suggesting that the stars and constellations don't have energetic influence on our experience as earthlings. I'm just saying that the tropical zodiac is defined by Earth's plane of rotation, the equator, and Earth's plane of orbit about the sun, the ecliptic, and that's it. This yellow circle here is the ecliptic. It is the plane of the Earth-Sun relationship, our orbital path about the sun, or from our point of view on Earth, the path that the sun takes through our skies, through the constellations and the signs, which are different things. Because while the constellations divide the ecliptic into 12 equal slices of 30 degrees, whether we're talking tropical, the zodiac of the directions of Earth, or sidereal, the zodiac of the stars, equal divisions of the 360-degree circle into 12 equal 30-degree signs. And that's not what the constellations do. The constellations vary significantly in size. So this constellation, which I prefer to call Priestess instead of Virgo, because constellations and signs are different things, describes about 46 degrees of ecliptic arc, with a mighty Ram only about 15. And this is a very important part of the principal claim the rationalist scientists stake in their attempt to prove astrology fake. Constellations and signs don't align, they say. Well, they're ignoring very simple and elegant astronomy in this attack. So this 13th sign meme really in modern times is seeded by this article at NASA's Space Place, which is their educational page for kids. You can see the URL below. I invite you to read the entire article. They teach the kids what astrology is not science. And people who like astrology, it's like reading fantasy stories. They also very clearly reveal that they believe astrology is only sun sign astrology. They haven't taken a deeper look. We know what would happen if they do. They'll probably become astrologers themselves. Anyway, I'm just going to show a couple things from this page. In other videos, I've kind of debunked many of their statements one at a time. Here we see 12 signs, although ordered from the sign that begins with the Gregorian year, right? Most of us would start here with Aries because Aries is east, and east is the place of the rise, new beginnings, a tale for another time. In this circle, you see 13. Which interestingly are symmetric, even though we read the constellations are different sizes and shapes, so the sun spends different lengths of time lined up with each one. Now that's absolutely true. The rest of this is very sketchy. The line from Earth through the sun points to Virgo for 45 days, but it points to Scorpius for only 7 days. What? To make a tidy match with their 12-month calendar, the Babylonians ignored the fact that the sun actually moves through 13 constellations, not 12. Then they assigned each of those 12 constellations equal amounts of time. Besides the 12 familiar constellations of the zodiac, the sun is also aligned with Ophiuchus for about 18 days each year. Now there's all sorts of questionable history here and bad astronomy. Not even honoring that the Babylonian calendar is solely lunar. It's a 354-day calendar that can't align to annual signs. And there's all sorts of issues there I can address at length another time and have, but today we're going to look into the days. 7 days for Scorpius and 18 for Ophiuchus? Who says? Let's look to space. and address this weird Ophiuchus fire. This is a bit of the ecliptic. A very sacred place of space where in darker skies you can see a little bit more of the galactic center and the Milky Way, which is here. What bright stars do you see? I mean, maybe your gaze is first directed towards Altair, the bright star of Aquila, the eagle constellation, which rises at the same time of the Scorpius, the Scorpion constellation. And maybe your gaze was first drawn there, to the heart of the Scorpion. Some cultures drew the Scorpion as a serpent, but we want to tend to a different serpent today, to the serpent tender Ophiuchus, who stands on the ecliptic plane here. And Ophiuchus is an amazing being, but not a constellation of the Zodiac. Now, I think the problem is that the Scorpion's tail is pretty far away from the ecliptic plane. This is called latitude. But, you know, if they want to say this foot of Ophiuchus is ecliptic while the tail shell of this, or the stinger of the Scorpion is not, you know, I'd entertain that. But if we direct our gaze over here, we're really going to see some ancient, or not ancient, very modern rules by an astronomical organization, which I feel is kind of like a seed to attack the tropical zodiac. Let me show you why. These are the boundary divisions that were drawn up by the International Astronomical Union in 1929 and put into place shortly thereafter. These are the so-called 88 official constellations. We don't see all of them here, but these are these boundaries that were made in the 20th century, right? So this has nothing to do with the Babylonians or the Greeks or the Egyptians or anywhere where astrology is rooted. So I want to tune into this place. I mean, what star do you see that's close by? And the answer is Antares, friends. And yet the Scorpion has this weird boundary division that would separate Antares from the ecliptic plane. Why? I mean, there's a star up here. This is called Psyche. And it aligns to the same place of the ecliptic. It's relatively bright, a magnitude of 2.5. It has an ecliptic longitude of about 250, which is 10 degrees tropical Sagittarius, okay? It's 11.5 degrees from the ecliptic plane. All right? Now let's look at Antares, the heart of the Scorpion. It is the 14th brightest star of the sky. Sometimes 15th because it's variable. All right? But the 15th brightest star of the sky. It's a magnitude of 1, very bright, also at 10 degrees tropical Sagittarius, and only 4.5 degrees from the ecliptic. So why would the astronomers excuse the 15th brightest star in the sky from the ecliptic? Is it perhaps because astrology has long revered that star as one of the 4 royal stars or marker stars of the heavens? I don't know. Why would you ever say that this place of the heavens is closer to that star than this star? Why would you draw these boundaries? So that place of the ecliptic is offered here. Is when you do, you get this very wrong idea of this sun's passage for only 7 days through Scorpius. Like the heart of the Scorpion isn't even included. What? Neither any of these stars. Ophiuchus is this one pretty dim star near the ecliptic plane. And Shala, the stinger of the Scorpion, is very visible in our skies. This is a ridiculous thing, and I would suggest a conspiratorial seed planted some time ago for this time release to give us these 18 days through Ophiuchus that now is rearing its weird head. And astrologers who sadly are so disconnected from the heavens, from the sky, from an embodied experience of the heavens, can't even defend ourselves against this, and for some reason are believing the hype. So I just wanted to show you where that's coming from, and you can do with it what you want. Now, Ophiuchus, let me show Ophiuchus again. It's an amazing thing, amazing being. We can look to the opposite side where the ecliptic crosses the galactic plane or the Milky Way, and we find a very powerful alignment of our time, a constellation that maybe would be the 14th if you want to do that. Anyway, I invite you to explore that at this Turning of the Ages and the Sun on the Cross movie, which you can find at my webpage, GeminiBrett.com. For now, this is your friendly astronaut signing off. I will see you in space.